So, do you all know I am recording this session. This is going to be posted to uh, YouTube if you want to watch it later on, but you guys are getting credit for coming this evening, so thank you very much. My name is Andrea Revelli. I am one of the librarians at ACC. I'm the Library Services Coordinator, which is a lot of different things, but maybe with the technology at ACC Library, and then a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff. But since we are doing a WebEx tonight and we're going to be focusing on how to do research, specifically within economics, I want to let you guys know, please interrupt me at any time if you have any questions about anything. Either unmute yourself or chat. The chat is really great down here at the bottom. It helps a lot if you can chat to the whole group. So by default, it's just going to chat to me, but I'd really appreciate it if you are going to chat the chat to the group, to just change it to send to everyone right above where you would type your message. That's going to really help. Then everybody can see what you are actually saying. For some reason, it defaults as just send it to me. Okay, and so I do have all of your names on here written down, or I'll write them down at the end actually, for attendance this evening. And I'm going to mute everybody just so I can't hear you, your background kind of feedback and stuff like that. If you would, I would probably suggest muting your video camera so we can't see you. A lot of people have webcams on their computers, so just turn that off. Okay. Yeah, thank you. That's a chat, exactly, just like that. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to get started here, and what I want to show you is, there we go. Sorry, that took a second there. Try to watch the chat. If you ask a question and I don't answer it, just microphone or ask again. Try to get my attention somehow. I'm not ignoring you at all. I'm sorry. Sometimes it's just tough to keep track of all of it at once. But the way to do research specifically for again your economics are going to be all through the library website. I'm starting here at arapahoe.edu. The top of every page we have a link for the library. So this is really your portal for all different kinds of tools that we have for you to do research. Basically what we have going on here and kind of the different levels of information are books and background information. Generally you're going to use background information at the beginning, at the beginning of doing a research to come up with synonyms for what you're searching for, to kind of understand a little bit more in depth about what you're researching, and then to kind of get ideas about maybe how you want to approach your paper. It's difficult if you just want to jump in right to the peer-reviewed content, just because it makes it hard on you to find them, because a lot of the times if you don't understand the topic very well, you're not going to have it for searching. Also, with the peer-reviewed content, they're really, really advanced in the terms they use, in the concepts, in the math behind the concepts, things like that. So you want to have an understanding of your topic before you just kind of jump in and start reading a peer-reviewed article. So we'll talk about kind of the difference between popular and scholarly articles in a little bit. But I do want to show you a few things here. Right in the center of our page here, we have a kind of Google-like search box. If you just search oil prices, just like a Google search, we're doing a keyword search at this point. Back lots of different content here. So what it's doing is it's pulling back books, and I can tell this is a book because it says print book right up here at the top. It says that it's by ACC Library, and it gives you a call number. This is right here, a call number, not a phone number. It's a call number or spine label number for where the book is located in the library. Back some e-content as well. Our e-book all in here, so you can actually access these online. Right now I'm just going to enter my S number, and you would do the same thing. Hit submit. It's going to take you right into the book. So pretty quick, especially if you are doing background research or something. Books are not always just background research. There can be some very scholarly, high quality information in them as well. So the page loaded into is the Gerda page. So this is the title of the ebook that you're looking for. This is the author, publisher, that kind of stuff. I have a description or summary of the book. PDF full text is the actual book. So of course that little summary there is not the full book. This is actually how you would get into the whole book. And then you can click through. Pretty easy here. One thing that I do like about ebooks, sometimes they're a little bit hard to read on your computer screen, but I like that you can do the search within. It actually makes it really easy to skim. I'm just doing a search for oil, hit enter on my keyboard, and all the different pages throughout the book that mention the word oil are over, and you can just jump to it. And there's going to be a lot here, so we're just kind of jumping in that. So that's a really quick look at ebooks. The nice thing, again, with anything through the library is you get your citation up here. So I think you guys are MLA. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you're MLA. And you can copy and paste this into your works cited page. This is the one thing that you can actually copy and paste. It's not plagiarism to do that. Depending on if you're using 7th or 8th edition, 8th might not be updated here, so I would always proofread that against a slide or a citation resource. And I will show some that we have for the library online for you, some of our favorites. So again, this is not plagiarism to copy and paste this into your works cited page, and then you can go from there. So really quick, really easy. They're nice for some big topics and things like that. In oil and U.S. national security. So that's a pretty the one thing that you can do that I don't recommend and hesitate to show you, but you can limit this down to articles. The reason I don't recommend it is that there are a lot of articles missing in here. The full resource, full pool, I guess, of articles. This is just some articles, and that is 115,000 already, and it's not ideal. You can do this, though. If you forget everything I say tonight and you just remember library links, you can get to peer-reviewed articles by clicking peer-reviewed over here. Makes better results in the databases themselves, but I do mention that in case you forget everything else that we talk about tonight. See, it kind of glitches every once in a while, and this is not the best way to go. And there are definitely peer-reviewed articles about oil prices. So for some reason, it just kind of hiccups when you use the articles sometimes. So here on our main library page, this is where I was searching for books. This worked really well for books and ebooks, and again, articles is really hit or miss. Sometimes it's great, other times it's not. But what we like to do here next is go into articles and databases, the button here on the home page. And then what we do is go through kind of each one of these different boxes has different types of information. So what we like to do is do research in a sequential manner. We like to find background information, then we like to find the popular articles afterwards. What we've done is generally you can kind of pick a resource from any boxes to do some of your research related to that type. So this background information, especially related to help with finding topics. If you don't know what you want to write about, this is a great place to find a topic. If you do already, I still really like CQ Researcher. It's one of my favorite databases. I just find that it's really easy to use, and it gives really thorough, in-depth information about a lot of different topics. But this is not peer-reviewed. None of the two top box resources are peer-reviewed. So just be aware of that. I think you have to have several in Jones class. I want to say 2, but it might be more than that, of specifically peer-reviewed articles. So check your assignment just so you know how many you need. But what you can do up here is you can either search by keyword, or you can kind of browse through various topics. So I'm kind of interested in this idea of energy, since we were looking at oil prices here. So I'm going to go down and click on energy and then oil and natural gas. Well, okay, this is kind of interesting. Maybe oil production in the 21st century. When will the world run out of oil? This is going to talk then about that question, the article. It's going to answer this all the way through here. The thing about this is that it kind of helps you find some synonyms for your topic. This might say gas prices. This could say OPEC would be something I might want to consider using. Demand for oil that I might want to think about it. Lots of things that I would skim. You don't necessarily have to read the entire article, but this is definitely something that I would skim and go about doing it that way. Okay. I like about this one is the really clear charts and graphs that it has in here. So it has some charts of U.S. suppliers. It talks about dependence on imported oil, things like that. They're really, really clear, and this is for all the different articles. Scroll through here pretty quickly. One of my other favorite things about this is this pro-con look at a topic. So they give you a question: should the United States ease its sanctions against Iran to improve international access to the Caspian Sea oil? It says yes, we should do that, and no, we should not. And it answers these questions and gives you a look at how you can have an opinion basically about this topic and do a timeline. These are really helpful for understanding the historical importance of a topic and kind of looking at something here. So I again, CQ researcher. I could have also searched for oil. This is up here in the top one to write about. And a set of results and from browsing. So U.S. oil dependence, and it's going to do the same thing. And again, related to this top question and answer it throughout. And come up, the big thing here is coming up with synonyms related to your topic. So words that mean the same thing as oil prices or very similar. Oil prices, gas prices, cost of oil, things like that that you would want to think about. $4 again, stuff like that. Think about those. And this is CQ researcher. I'm just kind of backing out here so I can go. And this is how I would do this. I would go up here and pick one of these. It doesn't really matter which one. I personally like this one again, but you could go through any of these. We generally do like to go through one of these as well once you've kind of picked and refined your topic from this first box. This Credo reference is a really popular one. And again, not peer-reviewed. This does not count toward your peer-reviewed quota. These are, again, background information, things like were not even really published in magazines that you'd buy at a store generally. This is more like encyclopedias, dictionary kinds of content, things like that. Just taking a second, I will kind of go into the different types of information here. So, again, we have it broken down into a chart. The most basic information is generally in things like encyclopedias and dictionaries, almanacs, but we call reference books. This is kind of what we are doing here online, is we're going through reference resources, and it actually calls them that right here. It says we have 819 online reference books that you can go through. Then a little bit more advanced or a little bit more in-depth or even just longer resources are articles. Generally is broken up into kind of peer-reviewed, scholarly, and popular. Popular articles are things that you would find at a grocery store. So things like People, Newsweek, U.S. News and World Report, Teen Magazine, I don't know, things like that, Cosmo, whatever. Those articles that are kind of generally written for fun, light, not necessarily super in-depth. They don't have citations and references on them. They don't have scholarly kind of content. They don't have, or they do have advertisements and lots of color and lots of pictures and things like that. When we kind of merge into scholarly articles, they are going to be from things like The Economist, where quality of information, but they're not peer reviewed. They're still published pretty frequently. Generally it might be a journalist economist who is writing them. So journalists write for, again, the popular stuff. Scholarly is kind of this mix of journalists and economic professionals. It's like that's what they do, is they write about economic for a living, as opposed to when you're in peer-reviewed resources. They are the highest quality of information, because when a professional expert field writes an article, send it to a journal, so I don't know, the American Journal of Economics, there's a bear or a peer reviewer board, so that other experts in the field read this person's article, deem that it's important, deem that it's valuable, and then it's published. So zines and the popular stuff is kind of published like the day or within a week of an event happening. The Scholar, kind of about the same, maybe a week or 2 weeks or something like that. When it comes to peer-reviewed, it takes months, sometimes even years, for something to get published. So there's not going to be peer-reviewed articles about something that happened yesterday, or even last week, or even last month. It takes, I've heard that it could be as fast as 3 months. I don't even believe that. Generally, it's a long, long-term process. So that's kind of why and how the spectrum is from the peer-reviewed, the popular all the way up to peer-reviewed. So we're still here in the popular background information realm. And again, I'm just going to kind of go with oil prices to be efficient here this evening. It's very slow this evening. And if this doesn't work, I'm here. But what this does, again, is pulls from some reference books and gives you really good definitions. When you don't know what a word means, I would absolutely recommend going here. If you need pictures, or if you don't know kind of a little side shoot topic of something that you're doing, this would be a great place. I think it's because I'm in WebEx, and that's why it's going kind of slowly. But Frito Reference is a great tool, and anything you use from the library has citations in it, so don't forget to look for those whenever you're doing research. But finally, to get to the real meat of what we're going to be doing tonight and what you're going to be doing for your research for Jones class, is the popular and scholarly articles databases. So we have two main ones. We have lots of kind of offshoot ones, but these are our two big ones: Academic Search Complete and ProQuest Research Library. I always start with Academic Search Complete, kind of habit, and also because I like the way that the interface works. So while you might one, you can start with ProQuest. It doesn't really matter. I will always search both way. So what I am putting oil prices in quotation marks to make sure that oil prices is being searched as a phrase, not price and oil in various sentences. I want oil prices right next to each other. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to just do a really pretty simple search and hit my search or enter there, and take a look at what I get back. So right now, 3,500 articles. That's pretty, but I go through all of these to look at how, let's see here, oil prices would relate to, trying to think of some, apartments. See if there's a relationship to apartments being developed and oil prices. Not really. This is not a really good one here. The oil and so what you can do is generally come up with various concepts that you can use in your searching. So oil prices is one concept, growth is a second one, or we can even just try car or vehicle. So what I'm doing is I am searching for all these three different concepts at the same time, including all of them with ors. So it's going to save me time because I don't want to have to do oil prices and automobile, oil prices and car, and oil price and vehicle. I'm doing all my searches at one time because I'm using or between them. The only time you use or is when you're putting similar terms. So these are all synonyms, again, words that mean the same thing that I've connected with or. I've connected concepts with this and that is already here. So that's going on kind of behind the scenes here. And then this or I kind of forced to work. So here, better pool. 3,500 was completely fine. I just kind of wanted to pull it down a little bit so I wasn't searching through so many. And I'm going to click on scholarly peer-reviewed journals. Some people scholarly as a separate type. Other people use it in place of peer-reviewed. So it's confusing to kind of understand what those mean. This database uses it as the same thing. The next database does not. So just always for this term, always look for the viewed, and you'll be in good shape here. So let's see if I can one of my articles here and to take a look at peer-reviewed article, some of the information about the article, and then over here again the PDF full text. I've had students come in thinking that the abstract there in the center was the full article. That's not. They're a lot longer. Might not be peer-reviewed. This one actually looks scholarly in nature. I think Nature is more scholarly than not. So this is why this database might be a little bit more difficult to do. It pulls back that look more peer. And so I want to show you what those look like here. I'm going to try this one. Called Energy Journal. That sounds more peer-reviewed just because usually they're a little bit more bland like that. And this will only be more scholarly. If you can kind of see the difference between the first one I was looking at that had those photographs, had color. This is really black and white. It has all the citation information in it. It says, has charts, kind of, again, looks boring is a good kind of line if this is going to count as more of a peer-reviewed journal article. There, and so this is what I was trying to get to. So now we have a whole section on references. So these are all the different references that have been used throughout the paper. Again, it looks more like what you're going to end up turning in as opposed to something that was pushed in a magazine. So let's see here. Just want to show you. Here's another one, Journal of Biomedicine and Biotechnology. That sounds pretty. You're not going to find that at the grocery store here. Here we go. This is a research, again, good off the top, introduction. And these are some kind of core pieces that generally has an introduction, method did in their research, conclusions, and then the references section. Yeah, so we kind of hit on different little pieces there. We have our references down here. Another good article to use. I do also in this journal, click on the journal source. Sorry, that was a little fast. Scroll down here to public type, and it says academic journal. That's what we want. And sure, it says peer-reviewed. Page by clicking here. This is the article, and then I clicked on Journal of Biomedicine and Biotechnology. Since it's a link, and brings me to the information about the journal as opposed to the article. Over here is another one. So I like the concept of transit-oriented development. It's also called TOD. Sorry, my mouse is in the wrong spot. Developing properties. Sorry, it's late, I guess. Developing properties, in roads and trains and all of that along, generally specifically like light rail and transit lines. It can make people want to live near where they work and work where they live, that kind of attitude. So transit-oriented development, again, or building developments along light rail stations. Is basically what that is. So it's known as TOD, or the long version of it is transit-oriented development. So I do like to search one concept at a time just because I like to kind of see what I'm getting. So this is great. Okay, so I'm looking at 1,000 articles here. Then I want to focus this down though because I am specifically interested again in apartments. This is where I usually use apartments as my example. And see if people are developing apartments and talking about apartments and related to TOD. So not really a lot in the system. So what I'm going to try is I'm going to try apartment, or because maybe I need to make it bigger, or condo. That's another one, or maybe townhome. Things like thinking of other words that mean kind of the same thing. I'm going to skip over this German one because that's not good for me. And it's also about cognitive impairment not due to dementia, not what we're looking at for economics. Looks interesting here. What I'm doing in the subjects, multifamily housing, residential remodelers. Okay, yeah, this looks interesting to me. And it's from the Journal of Housing and Community Development, so that's great. That sounds pretty boring, honestly, so that's perfect. And peer-reviewed, yes. I see it's an academic journal. Fantastic. So I'm going to go back and take a look at my article. So this one kind of doesn't fit that mold of lack of color, but it is a peer-reviewed article. Great here. So this is pretty short. So this actually wouldn't really count as a peer-reviewed article. The journal might be peer-reviewed, but that's something to be aware of. Is that sometimes a journal is reviewed, but things like book reviews or short news briefs. Here we go. Yep, this is a news brief. That's not going to work for us. That's something to be aware of when you're looking at your articles. So this might like that works super well in this database. So what I'm going to do, I'm not finding a whole lot in here. So what I want to do is I want to go back and try my other database. So here in ProQuest Research Library, I'm just back on the Articles and Databases page. Now go to System. And apartments. What to do is not do peer-reviewed first because I want to know if I'm getting anything. Because it is important to have some news articles or some really current information in there. So I always start with just leaving it at full text. Always have full text on there because it's really frustrating when you take full text off. You're going to get a ton of results, but a few of those results are actually going to be available to you. Actually, none of those results that are not full text are going to be available to you right now. That article exists somewhere out there. It's just saying that exists, and we have to track it down for you. So it can get really frustrating for you if it's not checked. So always have this checked off. Add your checkboxes maybe for peer-reviewed later. I like that I'm getting about 1,000 results again. That sounds pretty good. And then I'm going to hit peer-reviewed again. Now that I'm back, I generally would scroll through here and kind of see what's. Oh, this might be saying. Okay, and that's a paper article. I'm going based off of these little emblems here. And if you hover, I'm going to tell you what it is. So this is newspaper. This is a scholarly journal. And these ones are, I think, trade journals. So I'm going to do my peer review checkbox, hit enter again on my keyboard. So we took out quite a few. We took out like 800 results. We're going to get a little bit more focused here. Countering sprawl with transit-oriented development. That's perfect. Okay, that's in line with what I'm thinking about and kind of interested in. So this page here is set up differently than the complete system. What we have in here is the title, some journal information and article information. We have abstract or some of the article right here. Get to the full text right here, or I always recommend the PDF because it's much easier to read, and then you actually get charts, graphs, maps, image, things like that that you don't get in that HTML version, that text-only version. So here, this looks great. I want to make sure kind of the big piece there are and the content is more. So that looks good. I've missed this on the last one, but it's kind of in the same spot. Over on the right-hand side, you get all these different options about how to about the article. So I'm going to click on Cite. It's going to bring up a new for me. And then this one actually just goes up to MLA 7th. They haven't updated it yet. So you do have to add and take away a little bit, but this is something depending if Joan accepts 7th. I don't know if she accepts that or not. Then this is where we are for the style. I'm going to go back a page here, a few pages. Let's see, I want another one. Okay, that's interesting. This might work for me. I'm going to kind of swing that route. I can click on, so this is the journal title. These are the authors. This is the issue and volume journal that this article was published in. But I want to click on the journal title. And what it is going to take one of those pages that tells me about that specific journal and says it does peer reviewed. Great. It's a scholarly journal. Perfect. And let's go back here and grab my full text. And what you can do is you can copy, paste, pieces, or print, or save, or download and save. It doesn't matter. There's lots and lots of different options. You can email them to yourself, or just download the PDF. Either way. So that is kind of what you can do with the article. There are some folder options in these systems, but you do have to create accounts for them to stay longer than this one session. So if article to my folder up here on the right, it would go away as soon as I closed out the window. Right. Let's see here. Suburbs. Again, I don't need to keep going into all these, but this is how these all work and have some different pieces. It's always nice to double check. Joan is pretty specific about peer reviewed, so I would always double check that. And then again, get into that text. Highly recommended over the full text HTML. Slowly. Perfect. And then I generally check for those references. That's kind of one of the first things I do. Hopefully they have it on this article. References that start right down here at the bottom. So I've been talking a lot about references and citations. I'm going to get out of this system here, ProQuest, and go back to and click on Cite It. So what we here are a list of different places that we recommend for you to get help with citing your sources. So I would go to MLA and click on the one that you would like to use. There's a lot. These are all completely fine ones to use. We do have MLA, an accessible handout that we created, and then this one here with, I think, color, and then the other one does not use color. So that's kind of going on there. Online Writing Lab, that's one that I generally go to, or Valencia College. This kind of is another one of our librarians' favorites resources here. And you can click on electronic sources. And what you are doing here is you can actually click on where you got your article, Academic Search Complete, and it's going to show you exactly what that looks like, what it should look like at the end here. So author, the article, journal title, volume, issue, all the stuff, dedication, page numbers, what got it, and then the actual link for the article. So a little hint on the permalink here. I'm going to have to go back up. Just not the URL at the top of the page. Those won't go back to the article. Just something about oil prices. You can always do keyword searching here. You're just going to have to do a lot more digging if you do that. The link, what you want is actually over here on the side, and click on permalink, and to use this link here. This will get you back here. This is not a link that's going to press anywhere. Back here up at the top. But on the right side, and then using this one is what you want to put into your site. That is all there up here on our articles and database, and then on the Cited tab, and then here under LA. Up here, we do have some examples of how to do these. Just kind of quick on here as well. Okay, the last thing I'm trying to think. So we also do have some resources by subject. So if you are struggling to find articles and the library, you don't talk to the library yet, we do have some resources here under economics. So this is resources by subject, economics. What it does is it helps break out all the different resources that you might want to use. So with Economist, I do want to show you a few things here. We have it through ProQuest. I think you guys have already on here. The one to be aware of when you are on the Economist online do this is to be aware of the blog, the massive amount of blog posts that are in economist.com. This is really easy to get swooped up to, so I would always be really, really wary of using economist.com. I'd use The Economist through the library. So, I don't know, Brexit, something pretty new. It's going to be easier to kind of get around those. Those, if we search within The Economist itself. Okay, that's weird saying it, but I brought a lot back, so I don't know. It's going to be easier. So I would absolutely recommend avoiding Economist as much as you possibly can, and using ProQuest or actually I think we lost. So just using ProQuest for The Economist. On here, so it can be tough to tell if actually a real post. Okay, this one's good. This one's from the print edition. We lucked out here. But a lot of the time, they aren't actually from, I think this is a blog poster here. Yeah, this is more of a blog. I would never use this in my papers. Sorry, it kind of appears to have frozen a little bit here. So while this is loading, here we go. Oh, and I've reached the limit anyway, so I can't even look at that. Kind of part of the problem too is so you have to buy it if you use the article or the the Economist through us and access articles through the library. You don't have to pay for it at all. This is all paid for and free to you. So I would have said for like the fourth time, I would highly recommend avoiding the Economist.com and using ProQuest, The Economist. So the question here is, hi, so according to my teacher, we will find a citation during the session. Yes, that is the last thing that we are going to do tonight. To get credit for the last thing that I need from an article, a peer-reviewed article, and the best is going here, and then this article here, and get along. And as soon as you do that, and we have taken a look at it and made sure that it is actually a peer-reviewed article, you are then free to go. But that's going to be how you earn your attendance for this evening. So, if you have any questions, I would suggest starting at arapahoe.edu on live at the top of the page. Spaces. Scroll down and click on one of these two. Either doesn't matter, and then sending me permalink. You could also send me the citation. I'm okay with either one to get a peer-reviewed article to me. We can take a look. If you have any, it was a great time. I will be hanging out. We have all the articles approved, and then also available via email if you'd like to email directly, or you can email librarians@arapahoe.edu. That's here on all of our pages, and that's going to get to all the librarians, and we'll be able to help you out. And then finally, we do have 24-hour chat service, so this is great. You're chatting with a real librarian, not a computer, not somebody in high school. Somebody can help you out here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I think it's close like Christmas and Thanksgiving, something like that, where we are help you out finding articles, finding resources, finding citations, all that kind of stuff. So please take of either, again, our help here through, the phone number, the email, anything like that, calling us, stopping in, anything, carrier pigeon, whatever you want. But academic or our 24-hour chat now is very, very helpful as well. And a new break. Article. Yep. You find any article. I don't know that you have topics yet on something perfect. I hope I said that correctly. This is great. Full credit for attending tonight. I will send your name on to Joan tomorrow. This looks great. Has all the necessary pieces and looks like it should work. So thanks. You are free to take off. And so while you guys are looking, I'm going to keep kind of talking here. Again, arapahoe.edu, library at the top of the page. The quickest and easiest is going to be articles and databases, and then here scholarly and popular articles. This is best and quickest. Academic search complete. I could try searching, searching Brexit again. And then click on scholarly peer reviewed. Chris. Oh, I need my password. This is looking good, looking good. Kind of just necessary pieces. Goodness. Yep, that's it. I forgot to do this on the other one. I like to click on the journal title. Peer review. Perfect. All right, Chris, have a great evening. That was a great article. Thank you for sending your last name. Yeah, Travis, it would be great if you wanted to send your last name too, so I can get your. I'm looking at another one. Here, perfect. It's from EBSCO. This one is fine. It's a little a bit of a worry to use a law journal. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just sometimes those are actually from law students. So those are kind of but I'm going to here kind of see what they're calling. It's a little bit sticky. Don't know if Joan is going to accept law journals, so just be wary of using those. But for tonight, that's going to work. So that's perfect. Thank you, Katarina. You're very welcome. You are well. Good evening. Anybody have any help out with? Thank you. If you can't think of it, you could do, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of things in the news. So we're trying to, if you were interested in something that's in the news right now, there won't be scholarly articles about that concept, or about that topic, but there will be about that concept for the most part. So I'm going to just try it on the search before. So I'm going to do economics and see how that works. Yeah. Lots of options here. We could do NAFTA. Another thing that's kind of hot in the news right now. They're going to be specifically about President Trump and NAFTA. There will be things about NAFTA and the economics of NAFTA. So you can kind of learn about the topic and the concept without necessarily something that's exactly about what's going on today. Okay, I'm seeing here, does Sia, oh, let's see. Oh, perfect. I was reading your mind. What happened here? Okay, this is, looks like one that might not be, let's see here. I think what went on is you sent the URL from the top of the page, looks like. Yeah, go back into that article and then click over here on the right side where there's permalink, and then use this one right here to it. Sense? Oh, shoot. That's okay. It doesn't have to be that exact one, just something similar. Kyle and Samuel and Travis, how are you guys doing? Okay, taking a look. Okay. Getting there. Being a little slow. I know that this is a peer-reviewed journal. You are okay. This is one I know off the top of my head. There we go. Okay, Samuel, you are all set. Thank you so much for coming. This looks good. The original article is a fantastic term to find here. Thank you very much. That's great. Absolutely. Evening. I've got you down here. Kylie, or do you guys have any issues? Actually, I think. No, Samuel. How are you guys doing? You all have microphones, so if you want to unmute yourself, you can chat if you have any questions or issues. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good. I'm sorry. I somehow clicked out of the window and had been out for about 5 minutes there and got lost.
Okay.
I could hear you talking the whole time and could do
Okay.
to respond. But besides all that, I am still lost as to how to find what I'm looking for here. I've gone into.
Okay.
If you could show me one last time, I can find the information.
Sure.
It was I missed where it was, how I send you that.
Oh, in this one, does it look like this on your screen?
That is, and I was not in ProQuest. So I was going through the articles trying to find a peer-reviewed article when I, for a reason, was kicked off. So.
Sure, it happens. It's glitchy. In the right side, if you click on permalink, right side on this one, and then use this one right here, up at the top.
Okay.
Oops. I'm getting all these pop-ups. This will work better. I just the other one. It's all routed through a server and stuff. It's a long story, but these ones will let you.
Give me 1 second. Actually,
Yeah, no, that's okay. Take your time.